Well, it's Jim. Welcome back to my shop here in Rock Springs, Wyoming for Ring Box Part 2. If you like my videos, if you would subscribe, questions, comments, I welcome those as well. Thank you to all my subscribers who have tuned in, and we're just going to pick up where we left off on this little ring box. What we're going to do now is get ready to do a little sanding on the outside of it, put a little finish, then we're going to do a jam chuck, reverse turn, and do the bottom after we part it off. So just hang on and let me do a little sanding, a little finishing, and we may fast forward some of this. So again, I'm just going to go straight to, careful with the tool work, we'll go straight to, I'm going to be using some Arbanet sanding sheets. Probably going to start at about 320, and we'll go from there. So let me get some sandpaper, we'll get started. Again, I like these Arbanet sanding sheets. Merca makes these. Get them at Craft Supply in Provo, Utah. Again, I'm going to be starting with the 320. I like to use these at around 600 to 800 RPMs. Gently, just kind of work through here. Again, this is some spalted maple, so it's pretty soft and yields to the sandpaper very well. Tool work, tool control saves a lot of sanding time and makes that end product more friendly, I guess, or a lot easier. Now we'll go to some 400, wipe it off a little bit, very gently on this textured end. On this Arbanet, it's really important because of the way it's made. It doesn't clog it unclogs really easy. You just kind of dust it out. But you do need to keep it moving or it'll tend to make some lines in your work. See how that looks? Yep, we look pretty good. Slower laid down. Once again, we're back to the Mylan's friction polish. We're going to give it a good saturation of that. I really enjoy making boxes. A lot of options, a lot of design and creativity options as you go with these. Again, when you're using this friction polish, more is better. You're going to kind of see it go a little bit everywhere some, and want to be sure to get down in our little divider here. Get some down in here. We'll fold this paper towel a little bit and let it get down in that groove. And now we'll kind of work this on the wet part of the paper towel. Feel a little grab as you're getting it worked in. Again, I will go to a cloth. I know so many people say don't use a cloth. I think you can be safe with it, and that clock's telling me it's high noon here in Rock Springs in June. Very beautiful day outside. Again, I'm going to use the cloth in a very open-handed way. And this is a piece of linen bed sheet. So I'm going to just kind of press it with this one, kind of holding it with my thumb. And we'll work this through. I'm turning about 2,000, 1,800, 2,000 RPMs. And as you're working this friction polish, you can kind of watch it dry when it quits having the lines in it as you're working the cloth or paper towel across it. I just have a lot better luck. Again, notice I'm just holding that with my thumb against my hand. I'm not letting it wrap around fingers and stuff like that. I'm going to put a little roll here. I'm going to go below center and let that run between those two groove a little bit. Look pretty good. So now we're ready to, I'm going to take the lid off and then we're going to part it off. We're going to reverse chuck it and finish the bottom. When you're doing boxes of any kind, it's a really good idea to finish the bottom of your box. It kind of sort of really kind of finishes your work. See if we can get a little closer, maybe see a little bit more of this design in the lid, the design inside the lid. Notice where I left that rise, it kind of makes a different look to the spiral, and the same here. Now let's bring our tool rest back up. Using the 1/8 parting tool. And by the way, this is also another Thompson tool. If you watch many of my videos, I've got some reviews on them. You'll know I really like Doug's tools. So I'm just going to gently part in. Again, I'm angling this toward the center of the cup, toward the center of the little box, so that it sits flat on the tabletop or wherever they may put it, dresser, countertop. And just remember when you're parting off that as this gets closer to the center, it's going slower. So you'll just take your time. And listen to it. You can tell when it's about done. So now we're parted off. We'll put this aside. Now since we have a taper in here, it's going to be a little bit unique. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make the jam chuck to catch on the outside instead of the inside. I'll take the 3/8 spindle gouge, and we're just going to take this off a little bit flat. Again, slow your cut down when you get close to that center. I like to kind of just work it up. Don't push it and tear it. Cut it. Just take your time. Again, don't be in a hurry. Okay. Now, I'm just going to hold this up, and it'll rub just a little bit to give me an idea. I don't know that you can see that. I'm going to take the parting tool, and I'm gently going to start a little cut here. I know this is going to be a little bit on the big side. Let's get this tool rest down. I'm a little far away, but I'm just going to hold this so you can see it. Now I've got that in enough to check and see how close I am. Okay. Now we're going to switch over to a 1/2 inch skew. Get this up just a little bit. And we're just going to gently, I've slowed the lathe speed down to about 1500. Gently pushing in on the corner of the tool. Let's check our fit. We're a little big, so we're going to step inside of that. Better get this back up there. So let's step inside of here. Gently cut in. Take our 3/8 spindle gouge. Take a little bit of this material out. You'll notice this tool rest is way too high to be doing that, but it'll work. Now what I'm going to do is take the 3/8 spindle gouge. You'll see I've got 2 steps, and I'm just going to very gently cut this back on a little bit of a taper. Take that first shoulder off. I'm going to come back in here with the parting tool, or the skew. One about 3/16 of an inch, something like that. So, let's see if we're close now. Okay, yeah, we're getting there. Remember, when you're doing this, you're doubling up. So whatever you're taking off one side, you're actually taking off twice that much material. Okay, now then, got a nice fit here. We're ready to finish the bottom of the box. Now what I'm going to do is try to be very careful with the spindle gouge to keep my pressure going toward the headstock of the lathe. Again, very gently get your tool started. And I'm turning it about 2,000 RPMs. I'm going to concave this surface just a little bit.
Okay.
As you saw, we had to stop the video so we could go catch our piece that went flying. It's a little loose, so what I'm going to do is just a turner's trick. I'm going to little paper towel, spritz it with a little bit of just plain water. We're going to put it in here. And let it, before you start trying to use it, give it 5 or 10 seconds. I was getting a little aggressive, I think, trying to get in a little bit of a hurry. Remember I said don't do that, to finish this end off. So we'll go back where we started from. This time I'm going to kind of put a little hand here, and we're gently going to take this off. You'll notice that no harm, no foul. Again, I'm going to cut in here, and I'm going to leave just that little nub sticking up. Take a little 4/0 steel wool. I'm going to kind of scuff it all up because when I put this finish on, I want to go back and catch it. And you'll notice that I'm using a turner's smock. I prefer a short sleeve smock when I'm doing this. Sleeves are dangerous. You can see how close my arm is to that spinning chuck. So now we're going to go back, keeping our theme with the Sorby spiraling tool. Get our lathe set up, lathe speed slowed down to about 700 RPM, somewhere along there. We'll put our cutter in at a little bit of an angle. Again, watch for that angle side, and we're going to get it started here in the center, get the cut started. Then we're gently going to pull this out. Now I'm not going to come out as far because I want to leave room to sign my work down here. Notice that makes a nice little design. Now we're ready to go back and add our friction polish. Again, I can't stress enough when you're using a friction polish, and it's my experience, it doesn't matter whose it is or what brand it is, whether it's your own formula or somebody else's, these friction polishes need to be agitated, stirred pretty regular. Even if you're using it every minute or so, it really starts to separate pretty rapidly. Get that lid back on your container pretty quick. Again, I'm going to go here at a slow lathe speed with the wet part of my paper towel until I start to get a little grab. I know a lot of people question using friction polish and how to do it. Again, back up to the lathe speed. Again, I'm using a towel, but I'm not holding it and wrapping it around fingers. I'm just kind of pinching it against my hand. If it catches or grabs, it'll not get me with it. I have to be honest, I've been doing this with finishing of wood for many years. I have had the rag catch, but I've never found it to be dangerous. And again, when you're making these little box projects, it's a really good idea to finish the bottom of your box. It seems like as I've looked at these at different shows and different places, that people always pick them up and they look at the bottom first. So be sure to do that. And let's see if we can get you a look at this little box. Again, we put this little separation in it. We can kind of find a grain match with these Rayflex. We've got a little bit of a vacuum seal there. We've got some texturing on the top, texturing on the bottom. We did this inset so that you can grip it to open it. This wood is pretty dry, so, or has a little bit of moisture. So I'm going to have to take this little parting tool and kind of get it started. If it stays tight like that for the next few days, I'll sand it a little bit. So now we have this nice little ring box with some pretty figure, pretty spalting on it. We can see some wormholes here, and it makes a nice little gift and a simple turning project. It's a very good turning project for a club challenge also. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it. Jim in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Safe turning, subscribe if you will, and God bless.